Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, my dear students. How are you? I hope you're enjoying the best of health. I welcome you in my class that is English for grade 5. We are learning Unit 4. Its title is Helping Others. My dear fellow teachers, this lesson plan, PowerPoint presentation, worksheet links are given. You may click it, download it, follow it as it is, or modify it for your convenience. I'm going to deliver my lecture according to this lesson plan. Yes, my dear children, today under the title of pronunciation skills, we are going to learn sounds of final ED. In grade 4, I have already taught you sound of final ED. I hope you remember. If not, you may watch this video lecture again. And now we are going to learn further to recognize and practice the ED has 3 sounds, that is D, T, and IT through the context. Inshallah, we'll practice it. This is our today's SLO. So let's start with the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah mentions in Quran, Surah Al-Kawthar, verse 1 and 2, indeed, we have granted you, O Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Al-Kawthar. So pray to your Lord and sacrifice. Subhanallah, my dear students, it's a beautiful message, and I suggest you should ask your Islamic teacher or your Qari Sahib about Al-Kawthar. Okay, so gather details by yourself. Okay, and I want you to focus on this word I have mentioned. Now you see, ED has been mentioned, and why? Because it is already done. And this sound of ED depends on the sound which is coming before it. Okay, and how we differentiate, today we are going to learn in detail, inshallah. So first you tell me in grade 4, because you have learned it, what do you remember when we pronounced ED as T, and when do we pronounce ED as D, and when do we pronounce ED as IT? So do you remember? Pause the video, answer these questions to your teacher, and then come back. I hope you could recall few things, and let's do in detail again. First of all, my dear children, in past tense of verb in English, we know for past participle, for regular nouns, what do? We take for regular verbs, we write the verb and we add ed to make its past participle. Remember, this is the rule. So, in past tense, the verb ending on ed can be pronounced in 3 different ways, as T, D, and IT. All right? For example, this is walked. And I wanna say, I walked away. So how I'm saying it? Walked. Now, there is ed, but it's pronounced as T, walked. In next example, it smelled so good, smelled. And I visited our village last year. Now you see, for this ed, when it's placed at the end of a verb, we have heard and we have pronounced 3 different sounds. So why these sounds are different? Ed as T, D, and IT. Okay, so why the sound changes? Let's place your finger in the front of your throat and say these words with me. Place your finger here and say it. Wall, fake, zebra, snake. Did you felt something? Did you feel something? So what do you feel? There is vibration. When you say these words, for few letters, for few words, there is vibration, and for few, there is no. So when you pronounce a letter and you feel vibration, that is a voiced letter. For example, V, Z. And when you don't feel vibration, that is a voiceless letter. For example, F and S. Right? Now we know the pronunciation of all the letters we have learned. So when you feel vibration at your vocal cords, it's called voiced letter. And when there is no vibration, it's voiceless letter. And when this ed is coming for the words ending on voiceless sound, means no vibration sound. And what no vibration sounds are? You can practice it. Because when we say these sounds, now I'm not saying letters, sounds, because there can be digraphs as well. When we say these sounds, there is no vibration. And when we say words which are ending on these sounds, this ed sounds as t, right? This ed is pronounced as t. For example, he popped a balloon. Now you see before this ed, and beta once again, I'm saying sounds, not letter. Sometimes there can be silent letters, so you have to be careful. So before this ed, what is the final sound? It's p, and p is voiceless sound. That's why for voiceless sounds, we pronounce this ed as t, popped. Okay? They talked a lot. Talked. Because before ed there is voiceless sound. And she frothed. Now again, my dear children, for this digraph, I've taught you there can be two sounds, one soft and one hard. For soft sound, it's as we say in thank you. And for hard sound, it's the, as they are going, the. Okay? So here, when you hear soft sound, it's voiceless. That's why it's pronounced as, this ed will be pronounced as t, frothed. She frothed a cup of coffee, right? Are you clear? Okay, the next rule is, when we pronounce this ed as d sound when the final sound is voiced. And how we'll find out? If there is vibration as b, g, d, v, z, j, j, m, I, E, L. Okay, so do practice and find out, do you feel the vibration? It means they are voiced sounds. Okay, and if before ed a voiced sound is there, we pronounce this ed as d. For example, it bobbed up and down. Bobbed. Why? Because here before ed, this b sound is there, b sound. B sound is there, which is a voiced sound, right? The next is, he begged for a penny. Begged. Before ed, g sound is there, which is a voiced sound. She breathed loudly. Breathed. Now you see, here this digraph is giving its hard sound, the. That's why we'll pronounce this ed as d, right? And the last rule for this ed to pronounce as ad or id, if the word is ending on t or d sound. For example, I visited the Islamabad city. Now this ed, before this there is t sound, and this ed is pronounced as it, visited. Okay, and she edited the research paper, right? Very simple. Okay, so it's time to practice it from your book. All of you open your book, read this table, and practice the sounds of d, ed in 3 different sounds. Okay, pause the video, read it, and then come back. Yes, my dear children, are you done with it? Good job. So I'm going to check it through an activity. Are you ready for that? Okay. So what the activity is? Teacher will divide the class in group of 4s. So in each group there will be 4 members. And in each group students will work in pairs, right? And will write the action words past tense form having d, t, and it sounds. Okay, they will write it. All will listen carefully to each other in pairs and help to improve the correct pronunciation. Okay, so it's pair work in groups. Let's see who practice it nicely. Pause the video, enjoy the activity, and then come back. Yes, my dear children, are you done with it? Good, my children are smart. So now it's time to practice from your book. Write the words that end in sounds as t, d, and it, and then write them in the relevant column. It is the word bank. There are 3 columns. Say the words and write them in their relevant column. Pause the video, complete this exercise in your book, and then come back. Yes, my dear children, are you done with it? Good job. So it's time for your homework. You will write 10 sentences using sounds of final ed as it, t, and d. And here is a worksheet, my dear fellow teachers. This worksheet, lesson plan, PowerPoint presentation links are given. You may click it, download it, and kindly provide printed worksheet to students for practice. And my dear children, you will read aloud the content and you will practice the ed as ed, t, and d sounds, right? So in this way, what we have learned? We learned that past tense of verb in English ending on ed can be pronounced in 3 different ways as t, d, and it. Ed is pronounced as t, final sound in words ending in voiceless sound, means no vibration. Ed is pronounced as d, final sound for voiced, means vibration letters and vibration sounds, and ed is pronounced as et or it for the words ending on t and d. So in this way, we achieved our SLO to recognize and practice the ed has 3 sounds, d, t, and it through context. Are we done with it? Yes. So that's it for today. Tomorrow I'll come again with a very interesting lesson. Till that time, keep learning, keep practicing. Take very good care of yourself and all the people around you. Thank you and Allah Hafiz.